but because it was really stretched. Because it's like silicone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Good stuff. Dang it! Oh my god! Right off the freaking bat, I need to go home. I am home. Ah! Bed. Oh boy. Okay. Hello. Welcome back. I can't. Welcome back to my aunt's attic. You gonna leave me hanging, guys?
Welcome back!
I hate you all. Alright, well, once these two get their poop in a group, we're gonna have a special episode.
I think you need to get it together.
We have a special guest today.
Hello, my name's Kendra.
Kendra is the one we've been talking about. This is that Kendra.
Yes, you might know her from Chaotic Energy as well.
Yeah, she was there too. You obviously haven't listened to the podcast.
Not yet, no.
Uh-huh, yeah.
That's okay.
You would know we were talking about you last time, so.
Hopefully it was all good things.
All good things, all good things.
All good things.
Really good things, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel special.
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about everything, like always, but then specifically talking about music, because that was a subject that you had brought up back in the Chaotic Energy days, but we never got around to it, so we're going to do it now. So what exactly was the topic? Do you remember what you presented?
Yeah, so my topic was specifically how people kind of use music to, like, get through their daily lives, or just how, like, they connect to music and things, like, that go along with that. That was just because I use music daily. That's how I help my own mental health. So I guess there are certain songs that I use to, like, make me feel better. There are certain songs that I have, like, stronger connections to than others, because I am horrible at, like, expressing my own feelings and, like, my thoughts and everything. So sometimes having a song that, like, I can connect to that has those words already, like, put out, then I can, like, give that to somebody or be like, hey, this is, like, my mood right now. This is what I'm feeling. So that kind of helps me express myself and kind of feel a little bit of that connection.
We're the same human being.
That was beautiful. I'm crying.
Wipe the tear away. No, that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. But I want to backtrack first because it's been a little while since I saw you last.
Yes.
I feel like. So before we really dive into it, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better than last time I saw you, for sure.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
That was
We had a rough day.
That was a rough day. Yeah. Okay. So you want to elaborate, or do you know, or no?
Is there something you want me to elaborate on?
No, I'm just wondering if you want to divulge anything that's happened newly, what's the word I'm thinking? New developments. Since...
I suppose I can. I guess to give a little background for anybody who's listening.
You don't have to share
anything
like that all over again.
Well, I won't give the full details, but I'll give the gist. Basically, I was up for a job that I've been, like, working towards for a really, really long time. It's a job that I absolutely love and would be willing to do even for free, like, because it's something that means a lot to me. But due to health and medical reasons, in my first week of training, I had to drop out, which is something that was extremely difficult for me. However, so that's why she said, last time I saw Danielle, we had this whole chat, and I was having a really rough time. Because like I said, this is just more than a job to me. It, like, means a lot. So, this is why I said today, new developments. I do have the opportunity to start training again in the beginning of August and be able to kind of go back to where I started. Because the people who hired me still, like, really want me. They want to keep me as an employee. So he was the one who sent me this information to kind of start training again on my own. So I have the potential to start up again. So that kind of made me feel a lot better than last time I saw you.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, that's so awesome to hear. Oh, man. Okay, so the phone call today was...
That was touching base with the person who's doing the training, who's, like, the director of the training. Just to find out more information about it and stuff, because it's about 2 counties over from where we are, so about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay. So I was trying to find out more about this training, and it's a shortened full-time training, so it's only 4 months versus the normal 6 months to a year. So instead of, like, driving back and forth every day, they're gonna have accommodations for me to stay there, so I don't have to drive an hour and a half every single day to and from.
Nice.
So that's what I was talking to him about, was kind of making sure I hit all the requirements, I'm eligible, and I can stay down there and do my thing.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
You're gonna be farther away from me though.
Yes. But only for a few months. I can come visit on the weekends.
As happy as I am for you, that sucks for me. And as you all know, it's all about me all the time. So what is this? No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's fantastic to hear. I'm really excited that things have, like we said in the car, like it'll work out. Everything's just got to have its time and placement, and the cards have to fall where they're supposed to be. Yeah. And it sounds like cards are falling in the proper placements. That's so exciting to hear.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. What about you, Mary Grace? What's new?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Are you improving your Rocket League skills at all?
Oh no, I haven't played in a while actually.
Okay. So you lied to me.
Did I lie?
Yeah. You lied. You said you love it. You play it all the time.
I did.
I did.
And then I got embarrassed, so I stopped playing.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Why?
That's not true. I just haven't played it.
Okay, that's fair.
I have been watching Queen's Gambit a lot.
God bless.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Where are you at now?
Episode 6, I just started.
Isn't there only like 8 or 9
I
episodes?
think so.
Oh no, you're almost done.
I know.
Oh
I hate that. But,
no. So good, right?
it's really good. It's amazing.
I love that it's like the entire show is premised around chess, but it's not even about chess.
I just love the fact that, like, would she be good if she wasn't on drugs?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, that's the actually, like, I think the main point of the show is to kind of the finding the balance between insanity and genius, because she is a prodigy. She is a true prodigy. She is a genius, but being that good at something, it's like how do you function properly in society when you're just so far apart from it, and how do you maintain your sanity? And that was, I don't know if you've got spoilers possibly, but the flashback scene of her mother.
There's been a few of them.
Okay, with
When
the
she
fire.
was, like,
No.
with the, like, math book, you mean?
Yeah, it was the book that she published.
Oh.
The mom published. Her mom is a genius as well.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of same thing that her mom basically fell apart and went insane. And it was kind of showing the degradation of sanity and how she might follow her mom's footsteps. And that's kind of the whole thing. It's like finding that, like I said, the balance between genius and insanity. And chess is her way of coming about with her genius, where it's her mom. She was like a professor. She was whatever book she published or whatever. So, I don't know. Just, oh, it's so smart. It's so good. I love that show so much. It's perfect.
Really good.
Want to read the book. Will I ever read the book? Probably not. But
I don't know.
there's a show right there. You know?
I don't know what it is about it. Like, it's not, like, fast-paced or, like, exciting by any means, but, like, I'm always locked into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But something about the way it was made, like, it's not boring, but it's not
Yeah.
exciting either.
That is exactly how I feel about Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe, and it came out after like a decade, but its sequel, Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. Those two books are one of the few that have both 5 stars for me, and it's nearly impossible to get 5 stars out of me. Those two, it's so consistently good. It's nothing grand happens, nothing exciting. It's not like there's this pinnacle moment of excitement. No, it's just consistently good, of like a coming of age story of just trying to navigate your world kind of thing for these two kids. And it is just so even paced and consistently good that it just attached to my soul. 5 stars, hands down. Read it, people. So good. But I get what you're saying about that.
Yes.
That it just claws onto you, and it's just so good.
Yes. It's very good.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll start saying it, and then you don't have to.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
We're all gonna start saying it, and it's just gonna be the catchphrase.
I feel like it's kind of like your generation thing to say.
Wow.
No offense, but
Wow.
I don't know anybody who's my age that would say good stuff
Me?
as often as you.
I gotta agree with
Screw
that.
you. It's not a my age thing. It's just a me thing. I've never heard anyone my age either say it. I'm just a freak.
No, I don't know. About
Screw you.
that. No offense. It's not. No, I'm not saying like you're old or anything. I'm just saying like.
My generation is like I'm so far apart from.
Well, we're in different generations.
My soul is shriveling.
I'm sorry.
We are not in different. Oh, we are.
Yeah.
I'm at the tail end of millennial. I'm a zillennial. I'm not Gen Z, but I'm not. I'm not really millennial. I'm a zillennial.
That's such a millennial thing to come up with.
I think
Zillennial?
it. Yeah. Well, I think it's like 93 to 98. 92 to 99 is this kind of weird transitioning
I'll give
period that I don't relate to a lot of the millennial things, because a lot of the millennial things are really set more in the 80s.
Right.
And I'm not that. And then more of the Gen Z stuff. Gen Z was more completely established within the technology age, which I was not. So I'm at the tail end of one and the beginning of the other, and it just don't fit with either, because it was just the pure transition period for me. So, I mean, I'm 95. I'm smack in the middle of when everything was becoming digital and becoming technology. I went from having nothing at all to everything in my formative years.
I feel like it also depends on if you had older or younger siblings.
I have one older brother, but he's not even 2 years older than me. So
Wow.
he's also more
Yeah.
zillennial-ish. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Stop.
Whatever it may be. Okay. Cool. Okay, my turn. What have I been doing? Work.
Oh, yeah, what have you been up to?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I feel on the love.
Sorry.
Nope, just work and work. Okay, moving on. So, back to music, because that's what we could talk about this all day. So let's
Yes.
just hop right back into it. You said that there were a couple songs for you, Kendra. I'm talking to Kendra right now. And you said there were a couple songs that really help you with like your mental health and everything. Do you have particular songs that you want to talk about?
I don't know if there's any like titles I could think of specifically. I know that like make me feel better. At least I could definitely like tell you some that I gravitate more towards, like when my mental health is really bad. One of them is a song. I think the artist, her name is like Blue Eyes. The song name I think is called "Stuck in My Head." I know that's one that I definitely relate to a lot when my mental health is really bad, because it's just saying like, it's like when the thought somebody has when they're like self-isolating. It's, am I the only one that feels this way? Like, am I just weird? Kind of stuff like that. And like just some of the, like, I work myself so much so that I don't have to feel anything and stuff like that. Which kind of goes along with the song Numb Little Bug, if you guys know that one. No, really? Really? Wow, okay. I thought that song was popular for a while. It was just me. But that one as well. I actually really liked that song at first, but I'm a person, like, when a song blows up and a lot of people really like it, then I'm like, nope, now that song's garbage. I don't know why.
You're a
I do the
hipster.
same thing.
I hate it when people do that. But so that kind of started happening to me a little bit with that song, because I heard a lot on, like, social media and a lot on, like, Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
So I might know it,
You
but then
probably
again,
would.
Maybe I
I'm
do, but-
old, so who knows?
Well,
I'm sure if I played it, you would know it, because I know it's
Yeah.
a sound on TikTok especially.
Okay.
But, yeah, there's certain songs, too, like, not we can go on a happier note, that, like, make me think of friends and family as well, that, like, there's a couple songs with my dad. Oh, bless my dad. I love my dad so much. He's definitely, like, one of my favorite people ever.
so cute.
But there are two songs that always make me think of my dad, and you play them every single time, no matter what mood I'm in, I will cry. Every single time. Never fails. So one of them is by Zach Brown Band.
Oh, so good.
It's definitely a song about his dad. I'm drawing a blank on the title of it. I can't think what the title of it is right now, but it's one of his newer ones. And it's just, it's My Old Man. That's what it is. And that song really makes me think of my dad, because as he's, like, in the lyrics saying about his dad teaching him how to do things, teaching him how to fish, about different tools and stuff like that. That's what I did with my dad, because my dad didn't have any sons. And he didn't care that he had daughters. He was like, you guys have limbs, and you can move. Like, let's go. So, even though he didn't, like, treat us like his sons, but he was still like, you can learn. So anytime he was, like, fixing anything around the house and stuff, a lot of stuff I know my dad taught me. So that's definitely one of the songs. Every time I hear it, it just tear a little bit.
That's so cute. Oh my god.
And then there's another one. My dad sent me this jerk off. So, mind you, let's set this. I had just moved out of my parents' house. I live on my own. Probably And I know that was really hard for my dad because I'm the baby. So I'm the last one to move out. So now they're empty nesters. So it's really hard for them. And one night I moved out. It may have been a week. I'd been gone for a week. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. I get this text from my dad. I'm like, the heck? Because usually he works really early. So usually he's in bed by then. And it was a link to Spotify. It was a song. I was like, oh, like, what is this? And I clicked on it. And it's a song. It's a father wrote for his daughter. And he's singing about, like, how beautiful she is and, like, how, like, he didn't think he could, like, love anybody as much as his daughter. And he's, like, talking about her, like, beautiful brown eyes and everything. And that song, like, it's such a beautiful song. And when my dad said this to me, I was sobbing. Like, I was a mess. Because I was like, oh, it's a really sweet song. It's really pretty. But, so that's kind of one of those things. Like, every time I hear it, like, yeah.
Well, I know when we went to Nashville, we went to the Grand Ole Opry, and we saw... What was his name?
Which one?
The very last. Not the very last, but Stealing Cinderella or Cinderella.
Cinderella is the song.
What's his
yes.
name?
I can find it.
Is it Steven? It's not Steven.
Let's see. I have that song saved on here.
Well, while you search for it, the story of it, he starts playing Cinderella, and we're both we both started sobbing.
Oh, we were crying so hard.
But this, okay, not to be like a Debbie Downer, we were crying for two different reasons. She, I think, was crying because, like...
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Curtis Chapman, okay. Yeah, so he's playing Cinderella, and he was so good live, right? We're both sitting there in tears, and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were crying because just, like... You know, thinking about your dad and, like...
Yeah, my dad's getting old. It makes me sad.
Whereas me, I was crying more because I'm, like, punch in the gut, like, missed opportunity kind of thing. With my dad, because we don't have the kind of relationship, and I was thinking to myself, like, this is the kind of song that you dance the father-daughter dance at your wedding or something.
Oh, that would make me cry.
And I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I don't know if that would ever happen for
My
me.
dad's not going to my wedding.
Yeah. So it kind of hurt. I was just like, so yeah, for me, I was like crying because I was like, man, this is kind of like the missed relationship that I'll never have, really. I mean, my relationship with my dad has certainly improved now that I have moved out. But would I be comfortable enough to have like a full-blown dance with him at my wedding? Not that I ever plan on getting married, but I was it just kind of hit me. But
interesting.
I'm living vicariously through you and your dad's relationship. Your dad is like my pseudo-parent when I'm up here.
Oh my gosh.
So, no, I think that's beautiful, though, that you have those, like, specific songs and stuff that are good. Good stuff. What about you, Mary Grace? You good?
Oh, what's the question?
Just, how do you use music? Is there particular songs that make you think of anything, or do you listen to...
so interesting. Okay, so, like, when I was in high school, I used to listen to, like, not, like, well... kind of like emo, because I was like going through that. And so like I would be sad and then I would listen to sad songs to make me like more sad, like on purpose.
Right. It's a thing. I'm gonna talk about it. It's coming.
It's so weird.
It's a thing.
But then I don't know if I stopped listening to sad music and so I became less sad, or because I'm less sad I don't listen to sad music.
Okay.
But I can't listen to sad music anymore. Like, I will, like, even if I just hear, like, a little guitar doing, like, I, like, start crying. Like, this is so sad.
Yeah.
I don't know why, like, but if anything is, like, slower than, like, mostly upbeat, I assume it's sad and I get sad. Like, I don't know why, like, I guess I'm just, like, really easily, like, affected by it. So I avoid sad music.
Well, it's a thing. I actually wrote a full-blown paper on this.
It's so weird.
So let me just go off here for a second. So you guys know mathematically that a negative plus a negative equals a positive? That is exactly what happens with music.
Times?
Sure.
Right? A negative times a negative. Not plus, because then it would just be more negative.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Negative times the negative is positive.
Sorry.
Sorry, I got confused.
I'm not a mathematician, and this is actually not about math. But a negative times a negative equals a positive, and that's exactly what happens with music. People who are sad listen to sad music because it balances them out. if you are sad and you listen to happy music, that dissonance between your emotions and what you're listening to is so grating, and it's almost it's insulting. It's like, if I'm sad and I'm listening to happy music, this is not my emotion. That's not what I'm capable of feeling right now. Why are you shoving your happiness in my face? And then you just get more angry and more sad. So therefore, when you're sad, you listen to sad music because it's like, this understands. This I'm equal with. Here I am on an equal plane with what I'm listening. My outside matches my inside. Therefore, it balances itself out. You feel understood, and it actually makes you feel better because of that feeling of mutual understanding. So people who are happy listen to happy music. You don't want to listen to sad music because there's a dissonance there. There's a discord between your outside and your inside. And I wrote like a whole paper on it, especially focused specifically on 21 Pilots, because that's what they do for me. They balance out what I'm feeling with my outside, what's going on with them. And that's why they're so important to me. I'm just going to go off for a second. Yep. Just bear with me. So the amazing thing about 21 Pilots is that their music is so unique and so personalized while also being vague enough to be for everyone. Their music has a certain quality to it that, and there's actually one song that says, like, don't be confused by like the happy sound because the lyrics are so down. And it's that double whammy that you're getting out of one song that fits for everyone. If you're happy and you want to listen to their music, it's upbeat, it's fun, it's, it's a bop, honestly. And you can listen to it and enjoy it. But if you're sad, you can listen to the exact same song and get what you need out of it, because the lyrics, you can cue into more of the lyrics and get more of that understanding and like that more sadness that you need to be able to feel understood. And you're getting that, what the heck?
Bubble.
Whoa, squeaky. But you're getting that all from one band in one song or one album or whatever. And that is exactly the kind of thing that I need, because if I'm really sad, I'll cue into the lyrics, I'll feel that understood, and then once I start to feel a little bit better by feeling understood with the lyrics, then I can start transitioning over into just like enjoying the music.
Yeah.
And so you get everything out of one song. And so they are anything and everything to anyone and everyone. And I love that about them. And especially like my darkest of days, you have your darker songs.
Right.
And then on happier days or whatever, you can still listen to them, and they have their more upbeat songs. So I will rant and rave about 21 Pilots all day long, because they're everything to me. They literally saved my life. Their music, their one song, Car Radio, is one of the more serious, more depressing, I guess, songs. I played it for my mom one time, because same thing. When I don't have the words to describe what I'm going through, I'm like, here's a song that puts it perfectly.
Yeah.
This is what I'm feeling. It's my kind of like cry for help, whatever you call it. But I played Car Radio for my mom, and I'll never forget her exact words were, well, that was depressing. And I'm like, that's the point, Mom! Like, here's what I'm trying to say!
Such a mom
Right.
thing.
And, like, honestly, when my darkest of darkest times, when I was actually in college the first time around, right after high school, I would drive home from class, because it was like, one step above a community college, right in my hometown. And I would drive home, and I would be driving down the road and just, like, I would pick out trees, or I'd pick out a telephone pole. Like, which one am I going to wrap my car around? Because I don't want to do this anymore. And I would just drive home, and I'd be sobbing. And I don't want to do this anymore. And when I was really feeling like that, I would play Car Radio. And again, the lyrics were so unbelievably perfect to what I was feeling. And the thing about depression is the disorder in itself makes you feel alone. It tricks your brain into thinking, I'm completely alone. No one else feels like this. No one understands. But then you play a song that obviously somebody else out there does understand. And I would just tell myself, just listen to this song one more time, and then you can be done. And then you can wrap your car around a tree. Just listen to it one more time. And I would play it over and over again until I got home, and I'd obviously be safe and sound. But it hit so perfectly, because it described depression and what I was feeling so unbelievably perfectly that I was like, there is no getting around knowing that someone else does actually feel like this. And so no matter how much I would convince myself that I'm completely alone, I was like, no, this song proves that I'm not. And so I can't argue with what's right there, proven.
Right.
So, and then again, like I said, even if you're not depressed, which I hope and pray that, people aren't, because I would not wish that on my worst enemy, but 21 Pilots is still the band for you, no matter where you're at in life.
Right.
You get everything from them, so I could just, okay,
that, like, I could tag on to that. I remember you're the one who got, like, I listened to a little bit of them, but not, like, all of, like, they're popular songs that everybody would know. But I really started listening to them after, like, I started hanging out with you. And...
You're welcome.
Yeah. But, no, I remember you telling me, you were like, the concerts I've been to, you're like, you have not been to a concert unless you've been to a 21 Pilots concert. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't believe you. But I remember, even if you don't know all of their songs, like, even going to that concert, I only, like, really knew a few of them. That concert, like, just the energy that are coming off of other people, coming from the artists themselves, it is an energy I've, like, never felt before. Like, you could tell just everybody in that arena was, like, on the same page, had, like, the same understanding, and it was, like, a really weird just connection that you immediately had with other people that you didn't even know. And I have to say, I remember after that concert, I remember just feeling, not depleted isn't the right word, but I just felt, like, emotionally just, like, exhausted, because I was like, there's just so many people around you that you could just, you don't know them, but, like, you know them, just based off of those connections. So I remember that concert, I was like, that... I got it after that. It was something you definitely had to experience firsthand. Yeah.
That's why I always say, it is not because I am completely biased, but I always tell people, like, you've never been to a concert till you've been to a 21 Pilots concert.
Yeah.
Because they are just so present.
Yes.
It is, and they make music specifically to share with people and to have it live. And it is that atmosphere, that energy, this room full of thousands of people that you've never met, but like you said, on a fundamental level, you know them. I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, they are your family, they are your friends, and it's just, you know that you could walk up to literally any single person in this entire arena. You could pour your heart out to them, and they would be like, I understand.
Yeah.
And there's something so special about that, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, you can get that from, like, so many concerts, but when you have an artist who has just gone through it, and you know it because of his lyrics and because of how, and then Josh is such an amazing drummer and everything, like, the heartbeat that you can feel in the music and everything, you can't help but be so unbelievably present in that moment. Like you said, it is so emotionally exhausting because you pour everything out into that moment,
right? And
you walk around and you're just like, what is life anymore? Because you've left it all in that arena.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
it's almost like singing their songs. You're like not ranting with them, but you're just like getting it out. Like, you're just getting those emotions out with them. So I feel like that's why. Because, like, you could tell, as, like, some concerts, people are, like, screaming and singing, whatever. Just because, like, it's fun, they're dancing, having a good time, whatever. You could tell, like, if you looked around, because we were, like, standing on the floor for this concert. Like, if you looked around, people around us, you could just see the emotions on people's faces when they were singing these songs. Like, they weren't just singing the song. It was almost like they were just screaming at the top of their lungs, like, sharing their own emotions to, like, an arena of people. So. And
that's, we were talking about it the other week, that when you kind of cue into the fact that other people have fully fleshed out lives and they're not just two-dimensional characters, in that arena is when you see it actually happening in real time. You see people's lives in front of you, and you know that they've gone through the things and that they are still present. That so many people in that arena have probably questioned their existence, but in that moment they are still there, and they want to be there, and they are pouring everything they have into their existence in that moment. And it is so unbelievably incredible. And like you said, like, especially, again, Car Radio, when he screams. And that's why I think I handed you my phone.
Yes, you did.
And asked you to film it, because I needed to be so present in that moment, because I'm so, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain that I haven't quite gotten to the place where I appreciate the fact that they have kept me around, because I'm like, I don't know, not quite there, but I'm getting there. And to be in that moment, and it's when he screams, and when he screams, and it's like he's screaming for me, because I don't have the energy to do it. And that was the thing, like, when I was driving home from college, he would scream, and the relief I would feel, because I'd be so tired, I wouldn't have enough energy in me to get the things that I needed to get out, but he would scream for me, and it would just, like I said, I could physically feel the relief of knowing that someone else is feeling like this, and he's getting it out for me, and he's saying everything and screaming for me. Ah! I'm getting choked up.
Yeah. No, I get it.
No, like, that is absolutely... Music, I use it to regulate my own emotions, because I have a hard time, mentally, like, my brain does not produce the chemicals necessary to make emotions properly, and music helps, I don't know, start the factory moving kind of thing.
See, that's interesting, because for me it's a little different. It's just, like, I had very emotionally immature parents, so I was, like, never taught how to, like, work through my emotions, feel them, deal with them, whatever. So I was, like, I had old-fashioned tough love parents, so it was always, like, suck it up, get over it, you'll be fine, like, move on with your life, it's not that big of a deal. So I think for music, for me to, like, being able to let it out like that is just because I was never taught how to. Like, I know I'm feeling something, I just don't know how to say it. So that, I feel like, definitely helps.
Yeah. Do you guys get chills when you listen to music?
Certain songs, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
full goosebumps, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
There's a name for that, because there's a name for everything. I forget what it is. But have you ever gone to a concert and just been... What concerts have you been to, Mary Grace?
I've only been to a couple, but I haven't had that experience that you guys have of, like, feeling such a connection with the audience, because a lot of the bands I like are, like, not very popular, so a lot of their concerts are, like, free or, like, very cheap, and so people are just going to them, like, just to go.
Oh, okay.
So there's not a lot of fans, and it's mostly just, like, chaos, which isn't bad, because everyone's having a good time, but there isn't, like, an emotional
Like, an
experience.
appreciation for it.
Yeah. So...
Well, you're next. I'll take you to a top concert.
Worth
Yeah.
it.
Yep. Well, who do you listen to?
I listen to, like, a lot of indie, like, pop or indie rock. So I've been to this band called Coin, The Regrets, kind of really it.
You haven't been to... I know
really
you like...
gone.
I know you like country. You haven't been to any of the...
I don't love country.
You just hurt my
Wait. What?
Ouch.
I don't hate it, but it depends. It really depends.
Every time we've been in the car, we've played country. And you've, like you've
That
known
kind of
every
country,
song. And, like,
but not like... What's the word I'm looking for? Not like pop country.
oh, no. Today's country sucks
Yeah.
ass.
That's what I mean.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking classic country.
Yeah,
George
yeah, yeah,
Strait,
yeah.
Alan
Yeah,
Jackson.
like 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went to that Chris Stapleton concert.
You did?
Ooh.
Good.
Not the one that I went in Ohio a while ago.
Oh, okay,
last
okay.
year.
But still. Yeah,
Good
we
one.
didn't end up going to that.
Sadly, no.
Yeah. But no, he is, I think, kind of the saving grace of country right now, because...
He's very talented.
And I was talking to my friend who is also a huge country fan, but she was saying that today's country is not country. Like you said, it's more pop.
Yeah.
And Chris Stapleton is kind of getting back to the roots of what country is supposed to be. And I think there's a misconception of what country is. It's not, blue jeans, boots, trucks, Daisy
Yeah.
Dukes, drinking beer, going fit. That's not what country is.
No.
Country is the essence of what it means to be a family man,
Working hard.
the values and the morals of
Yes.
good country working down home life.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like, you'd, like, give your shirt off the back to
Yeah.
your neighbor and stuff like that.
Yeah, and appreciating what you have, knowing that you're going to get through the tough times because you have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have the faith, the family, the trust in the world around you to be able to get through. That's kind of the country is. That's true country music, is like the essence, the values, the morals of country life. And that's not what today's music is. It's, what's the catchiest tune and the fun
Yeah.
lyrics and, having a bonfire and getting drunk off your ass kind of thing. That's not country. Okay.
Yeah, so when I was at the Chris Stapleton concert last year, it was like the crowd, I think, was very there for like modern country. So it was like everybody
so sad.
was like drunk and like
Yeah.
cowboy hats and cowboy
Right.
boots and all this stuff. So it was a good time, but like I kept getting stepped on by the drunk guy who was standing in front of me.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's annoying.
So it was a good concert though.
Yeah. He is so fantastic live. The one I went to.
He's amazing.
He's better live than he is on recordings. He's so fantastic. It's incredible. But, no, his one song, Scarecrow in the Garden, that's one that just will get to me. I'll just start crying. That's a good. You shook your head like you don't know what that is.
I don't know
I
that song.
don't know that one specifically now.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I'll have to look it up. Homework.
After we end the podcast, we're gonna have a music session.
Oh boy.
So we always get floor seats for 21 Pilots. And the very first concert I ever went to was a 21 Pilots concert. I went by myself. I did have seats and it was fine. But after that, I was like, I want to be on the floor. I want to be right there because their concerts always have the main stage and then they play a couple songs on a secondary stage in the middle of the floor. And ever since that first concert, when I saw what they were going to be doing, I was like, I want to be down there. I want to be right next to that secondary stage because everyone goes and rushes up to the main stage and has like a mosh pit kind of thing going on there. I'm like, not really about that. I don't want people all up on top of me the whole time and me crushed up against the barrier there. No, thank you. But the secondary stage, we've gotten right along. We've held on to the gate and everything. And so he's like, they're right there. And it's like, oh my God. But the last concert we went to was in Montreal and we got there a little bit late. So we were way far back in the line for the floor seats. Mm-hmm. Or standing seats, whatever you want to call them. And I was like, we're not going to get the gate. We're not going to get the barrier. But I mean, like, it was my fault because we weren't there in time. But we ended up getting there. And it was so exciting. And I was like on cloud 9 because I was like, we got here late, but we're still on the barrier kind of thing. And he was right there. And it was incredible. And was it that one or the one I went to before that he walked by? He walked down the side and I rushed up and I got to hold his hand for a second.
That was definitely before. That wasn't with me. Yeah.
I got the whole video. He walked right by. I got to hold his hand for a second, and I'm like, murder me now because it does not get better than this.
Die happy now.
Oh my gosh! But I'm gonna have to get you into 21 Pilots. We're gonna have to go to a concert so you can experience this just visceral, in the moment reaction of stuff. Oh,
because even if you don't know the music, it's a good time.
I can really appreciate 21 Pilots because they really enunciate in their music, and I don't know if it's like an auditory processing thing, but I can't understand lyrics.
Yeah.
Unless I am looking at them.
Yeah.
So I can really appreciate that.
Like I said, they are a genre all their own. Everyone was just like, when you say what genre are they? We're like,
Everything.
Ukulele screamo. Is that a genre?
That's a good question. I don't know how I would describe
They have been categorized as rock for award ceremonies, but they are not rock.
I would definitely.
I wouldn't think that.
They're not pop. They're
not
not
really
emo.
techno
They're not
either.
indie. Indo? What's Indo? They're not indie. They're not.
It's
really
like
tech.
everything together. Yeah.
They are
so
truly
unique. Like they made their own genre. Honestly.
They are truly their own. But it was funny because their newest album, Scaled and Icy, when it first came out, and I didn't have any background context, I didn't know what it was all about. I started listening to it, and I'm like, what is this sugar pop garbage? What the heck is this? I hated it. I hated their newest album. I was like, this hurts. This is like painful to listen to. But then they came out with their live stream concert because it was during COVID. Couldn't do live concerts, and that's what they make their music for, is to experience that with people. And they couldn't do that, so they came out with their live stream, and it wasn't just a concert, it was like this whole sceneries and actors and, sets and props and everything. It was a whole blown thing. And watching it and seeing it and having more context blew my mind, and it is hands down one of my favorite albums of theirs now.
Wow.
And it's because of the context, because of and it's probably one of the deepest albums, I feel, because it's part of a concept like trilogy. The previous album, Trench, was like the beginning of it. Then you have Scaled and Icy, and it's rumored that the next album is going to be the conclusion of the whole Clancy and the Bishops and the whole Dima like storyline with the Banditos and everything. It's a whole blown concept trilogy album. Album trilogy, there we go. But seeing the context and actually getting more background information with the characters and to see how deep it is. It's very uplifting, it's very bright, it's very cheery music, but it is by far some of the deepest, some of the darkest as well. And it hits hard when you actually like dive into the lore and the ideas of it behind, and then you look into Clancy's journal, which is like the cryptic website, and then you look into all the videos that have all these clues. It is a rabbit hole that you can go down to. It is a whole world in and of itself. Quite literally, he created a new world and is writing music around it, and it's just so mind-blowingly genius. He's a genius. Okay, we gotta stop because I'll go off all day.
See, this is why I love music.
It is just, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Oh my god. Not only is it fantastic music, but like the story and the information, the research that he does. Anyway, moving on. Holy cow. Anyway.
I feel like that's also a good thing just with music in general, is like it's a really good form of escapism, at least for me especially. Like I said, I cannot go a day without listening to music no matter what it is, especially when I'm driving. Holy crap.
Yep. Yep.
I feel like it just, like, also, like, I've talked about, I haven't been officially diagnosed yet, but I swear to God I have ADHD and really need to find out if I do. So I always feel like I have, like, 6 different voices in my head all the time. I'll talk about 7 different things. And I think the most accurate Instagram post I've ever seen was somebody saying, my brain is like an internet browser with 7 different tabs open, and one of them's playing music, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Yep.
I feel like that describes my brain, because there's always music playing in my head. So that's why, like, throughout the day, if you spend enough time with me, I'll just, like, randomly be, like, bobbing or randomly just start dancing to myself. And people are like, are you okay? I'm like, definitely not. But,
Definitely not.
but listening to music, I feel like, shuts off those voices.
Yep.
So, like, sometimes, I might not even just be listening to it, it's just playing in the background. Because, like, it distracts me enough so I can be focused.
Yep.
Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I remember my dad and my sister used to tell me that I was crazy because I'd have music playing doing my homework while I was studying. While I'm just reading, I'll just have music playing. And they were like, how do you focus on one thing with music playing? I'm like, because for me, like, it's a tool. So
It drowns out the other voices.
Yeah, so I'm not listening to it, but it's shutting everything else up so I can focus on what I'm doing.
Yep, that's exactly.
So it's definitely another way that I use music as well.
Well, that's going back to car radio, and that's why it's so impactful to me, because he's talking about his car radio being stolen out of his car, and now when you're driving, you're just sitting in silence. And when you're sitting in that silence, you have nothing but your own thoughts to hear and to think about, and when you only are subject to your own thoughts, it can get dark fast. And that's what music and having your car radio, that's, you know, the car radio is what brings life to a trip, and in the car, it's what brings it life. It makes it happy. It makes it, you know, distracts you from the things going on in your head. And when you have that ripped away and you're left with nothing, then it's just entirely too real all of a sudden. And so that's what, to me, that's what depression is. It's like, it's having your car radio, it's having your soul ripped out of you, and having any kind of good and positive ripped out of you, and you're left with this empty shell. And that's all a car is, with no radio.
Wow.
It's just this empty shell. It's a shell getting you from point A to point B without that car radio to give it life and to give it fun and to give it purpose and soul and everything.
No, I'm gonna cry. Oh my God.
Well, that's why. And that's like this so deep. That song is so, it hits so hard, because that's exactly what depression feels like. It feels like you have everything meaningful in your life ripped out of you, and you're nothing but a shell. And so listening to that song kind of hits that. Nope, I'm not just a shell. I'm not just this alone person that, you know, other people do feel like this and people do get it. And it's like, so yeah, I totally, you have to have music in the car. It's just I will sit there for 5 minutes finding like the perfect playlist before I take off, because I'm like, I'm not going to be subject to my own thoughts. No, thank you. But, no, I honestly only really listen to 21 Pilots when I do start to get more depressed, because I am more lyrically focused. And so I do cue more into the lyrics, and therefore I need to match that with how I'm feeling, which is usually depressed and a little bit darker. So I don't listen to them on a daily basis. So if you hear me listening to 21 Pilots on just a regular day, you know, probably need to check in on her. She's not probably doing great. But my daily kind of listening to is when there's nothing going on, when I'm not feeling anything, when I'm just kind of numbed out. Front bottoms. The front bottoms are my go-to white noise, because their lyrics are so out there that I can't connect with them. I can't feel anything when I'm listening to them.
So you're answering your being numb with being numb.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Just numbed out inside and outside, and I just, they're fun. They're jaunty. I'm gonna use jaunty.
Okay.
Is what and they're just, their lyrics are fun and weird and out there, but I can't connect to them, so we're just like, it's more white noise to me, and I love them. They're so crazy.
Which is so funny, because, like, you have, like, I have a deep connection with music, but you have a deep connection with music,
That's
so, like,
deep. I don't
goddamn.
Like,
So,
I don't have this.
like, for me, like, when I'm in the car, I usually, because I have major anxiety, that's the only reason I get anything done half the time. So, like, especially if I'm going to an appointment, if I have an interview, whatever, or even if I'm just going to work and I hype myself up to go to work so I don't fight somebody. So
I'd love to see you fight someone. That'd be so cute.
with you knowing my profession, that makes me feel so much better.
Yes.
Anyway, so, like, I use music to, like, hype myself up almost. So, like I said, my number one genre would definitely be country. But like you said, definitely, like, 90s, early 2000s country. That's what I grew up on. But, so that's definitely my go-to. But at the same time, I also, especially the past couple of years, I've been listening to a lot of rock music. And that definitely varies. So that kind of, you answered one of my other questions I was going to ask. Like, when you listen to music, are you more for, like, lyrics? Or are you more for, like, the music part itself and, like, the vibes that it gives off? I feel like I go back and forth. Like, if I like the vibes of a song, I'm like, oh, like, this gives me a certain feeling. Then I'm like, oh, I like this one. Or sometimes I, like, listen to lyrics. I'm like, oh, I like this song for the words. So I kind of flip back and forth. So that's why when people ask me, like, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? I feel like I can't really answer that question, because if you look at my playlist, it's just...
Yeah.
I listen to songs individually, so I don't listen to, like, a specific genre or specific artist or something like that. But,
it's like, I'll tell you as soon as you pick a mood for me to relate to.
Like, can we just narrow that down a little bit? Or, like, when people ask me my favorite song, my answer is always just, no.
No.
No. I was like, there's not one. I can't make me pick one.
Yep.
But, so that's why, like, rock music is something I've been listening to a lot lately. And that even varies to, like, classic rock, to, like, your 80s bands, to even your classic AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, all that. But I also listen to a lot of, like, alternative metal. So, like, what would be an example? Like, New Medicine. Who else does I listen to? Godsmack or Five Finger Death Punch, stuff like that. Yes. I've been listening to them a lot lately. So I use that, too, to, like get myself mad, like, hype myself up, because I work out a lot, too, and I go running and stuff. But I also feel like that also really helps me blow off steam, because I am actually a very angry person, which people don't expect out of me. Like, especially when I was little, like, the people who live with me know, or, like, grew up with me or whatever, who know me really well, they know, like, not to piss me off. Because, like, they've seen me in, like, a full, like, rage, like, just seeing red, like, mad. And I noticed it especially, like, pre-teen years. I was like, this is, like, that's not okay. Like, this is not productive. Being on the other end of that, because I have family members who are like that as well, I'm like, you can't just, like, yelling at people. Like, that's not cool. So I've been, like, really trying to work on it lately, and especially understanding that anger is, like, a secondary emotion. That's not what the actual issue is. Something else is. I feel like I've gotten better, like, dealing with it, especially, so that's why I feel like listening to that kind of rock music kind of helps me get that out a little bit, because I can just, like, find another way to, like, blow off that steam. Because, like, I won't yell at anybody, especially now. Anybody who knows me, we get into a fight, I'm not going to yell. I want to, but I'm not going to yell at you. And which also makes other people a little more pissed off, as I have found. People don't like that. But if you get into, like, a fight with me now, like, I'm not going to yell at you. Like, I want to talk about it. Like, I want to communicate. If you can't communicate right now, then we're going to go back to this later. But, so that's why I feel like I've been listening to a lot of rock music lately, just to kind of get that out.
Yeah. Like I said, that's matching the inside with the outside and finding that balance. And that's what I do. Like I said, I am more lyrically focused, especially when on my darker days. I kind of need that. I don't know. It's like a conversation. It's kind of like talking it out with the lyrics and with yourself kind of thing. But when I'm angry, it is like hard rock.
Oh, yeah.
And it's full blown. I need the crazy loud. I need my surroundings to be just as loud and frustrated and angry as my insides. And so when I listen to more hard rock or whatever, it is more for the music. There's a few Five Finger Death Punch songs that the lyrics do hit just sweet spot. Kind of like, this is exactly it. Just burn the world right now. That's it.
Yeah.
So I 100% understand that. Yeah. And I have yet to be on the receiving end of your ire. So
I've had a lot of people tell me that. I have one friend. We've been friends since we were 13. She remembers me getting mad, like, once. I don't remember it whatsoever.
Is she blacked out?
Apparently I did. Because she's still to this day, like, we'll talk about it or whatever, and she'll always just look at me, she'll be like, except for that one time. She's like, you were so pissed. And I'm like, what was I mad at? And she always just shakes her head. She was like, you were pissed. And I'm like, she won't tell me. And I'm like, I don't remember what happened.
That's so funny.
So I'm like, I feel like I traumatized this girl, and I don't even know what I did.
Yeah. Well, no, that's, I don't yell anymore either. if I get really frustrated, it's always with my family when, you know, it's always a knockdown, drag out kind of argument with my family. And so I avoid going to my family's house for too long because it's like, we're here for a long enough stretch of time and it's going to blow up and I don't have the energy for it anymore.
Right.
I've separated myself from that kind of thing. Whereas before I would participate in the full-blown yelling and all the craziness. Now if I go and my parents are fighting, I literally just like, I'm not doing this. I'll look them dead in the eye. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And I'll walk away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just no. And there was one time, a few times ago that I was at my parents' house. Something so stupid. Me and my mom actually had a good time about it. Like, we accidentally locked the keys in the car. I thought my mom had the keys. My mom didn't know that I had driven, so I thought she grabbed them and took them with her, and then I locked the car because I'm used to locking my car doors, not knowing that when she grabbed the keys, she dropped them in the console, and then we both got out. I locked the car doors, not knowing. Then we had to call my dad to find the spare keys. He was doing something, so he got pissed off, and then we got home, and after me and my mom, we were laughing about it, we were joking, we were having a good time. It was like a fun memory.
Yeah.
We get home, and he ruins it, and it was a full-blown fight. And he said some stupid shit that I did kind of give into, and I was like, I forget exactly what I said, but I was like, you've got to be kidding me. If you didn't actually know that this was a joke and we were kidding around, then you are so freaking, like, blind. Like, and then after that, I had to walk away. I went upstairs. My mom followed me. She started kind of, like, frustratingly ranting at me, and I'm like, Mom, no. You need to stop. And I just stood there and breathed for a minute, and I told her, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I will not be coming back if this is what we're going to be doing. And I'm dead serious, and I'm like, I don't stay there for more than like 2 days because I know too long, and it's gonna blow up, and I don't do that no more.
Setting boundaries.
I do not have the energy for that. I'm like, I'm too tired for this. I'm not doing this. So I have to kind of separate myself from that. But,
yeah, I get that.
But yeah, sometimes you just need your music to match your insides and outsides, and
yeah.
And then other times it's just like you need, I don't know, some good days, and you just kind of have to find that bippity boppity boop kind of song and. Trucking down the road, just like, yep, good times. So
yeah.
Do you have a bippity boppity boop song?
All of my songs are bippity boppity. like I feel like my life has been really static for the past like 2 or 3 years. So,
but like in a good way,
in a great way.
Okay.
But so is my my music has been all very like the same. Like I feel
Nothing
like
wrong with
anybody who just like would listen to my playlist would think that it was like all the same song and all the same band because it all sounds the same. But it's a great thing. But yeah, it's been static. And I listen to the same song like a million times. So I'm still listening to the same songs that I listened to like when I was 13, like now.
I wouldn't say static, I'd say content.
So content.
So content. That's so good to hear. That's awesome. No, that's fantastic.
No, it is really great.
When I hear a new song that gives that like hit of dopamine that I get addicted to, and right now on repeat is, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciations, I apologize, but by Ekaterina Shelahova, right?
Yeah.
You know, the Savage Daughter.
Oh yeah.
Savage Daughter, and then the other one was, I'm really gonna butcher this, but Tess and Moon, which is the one I sent you.
Yeah. Yep.
And you were like, that
one's cool.
That one's a hit, man. Those two songs have been on absolute freaking repeat for like a couple weeks now.
That's fair.
And they're just that little hit of dopamine and serotonin that I need. And then, of course, because I don't feel that on a regular basis, I get addicted to it. And I'm like, play it again. Play it again. Let's feel that one again. Ah!
I hate when it starts not hitting the same.
Right?
Though.
Yeah.
And it starts to kind of peter off and gotta find a new one.
Turn it up. Just turn it up louder.
Soaking it a little bit longer. Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
Music is so crucial.
It
And,
is.
No, I'm glad to hear that you're content with it. That's awesome. And,
It's great.
I'm dying for the next top album. They need to. It's coming. I know it's coming. I feel it. They're working on it, but I don't know. But it's been a hot minute. We could talk about this quite literally all day. We are at an hour, so let's go ahead and.
Dang!
We did good.
That was fast.
Let's go ahead and switch gears. Kendra, wait, no.
Oh.
Shoot, our questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to get to that or do you want to do it
those.
with fact?
What were the questions?
Oh
Oh, yeah.
Something about a memory.
What's your fondest memory?
Yeah.
Kendra, take it away.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember you sent me this. I've honestly been struggling with this question because I can't pick like one individual because I feel like I have like a group of memories. Like just think of them, you're just like, oh,
Just oh. Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, this was really hard for me. But I guess yesterday, one memory I had in particular just kind of like hit home a little bit. Like I said, obviously, because I've been like struggling a lot the past couple of weeks. That I think just kind of like gave me that like warm fuzzy feeling and just kind of like reminded me like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So story time. So basically, what happened was when I was in high school, I was doing like an internship with a local police department. And so we had the title of like cadets, we had uniforms, the whole 9 yards. And so what we would do is we would be able to like shadow officers, we would do volunteering, work in the community, stuff like that. So one of those volunteering opportunities was around Christmas and it was called Shop with a Cop. So you got like underprivileged kids from the area and the police department would pay for them to like buy presents for their family.
Oh.
So yeah, so there was just one little girl, so it was me and my partner who was also a female cadet. So we took her, she had her little list in her little kid handwriting, and she was probably maybe like 5 or 6, and we didn't know like what the story was with all the kids, we just knew that they were deserving children. And so we were like, oh, like, what's your name, whatever, getting the story from her, and I guess basically she had like a deadbeat dad who was awful to her mother and stuff like that. So her mom had finally gotten herself out of that situation, had just moved to a new area, and then that's why we decided to help them, because they just moved. She like had no money, she just started a new job, so there wasn't going to be a Christmas essentially. So that's why we took her to go shopping. And at the end, after like you take them shopping, you help them like wrap all their presents, we have wrapping paper and everything. She was having a blast, she was the cutest little girl, we had fun like running around the store and everything. And at the end, what got me, which is my favorite part of this memory, was I bring her back to her mom and are like, oh, like here are all the gifts, she wrapped everything, whatever. And then the department also gave them like a gift card to Target for like $500 or something, for like anything else that they might need. So I was like, oh, like here's like a little Christmas card, here's your Target gift card, whatever else. Gave her my spiel, and I remember the little girl, all she found was this one toy for herself. That was it, because they were allowed to get something for themselves too. It was, I don't even remember what it was. It looked like a little ball. It was the smallest, it was like $3. And she was just so content with it. She was so happy about it. And she, like, I remember her running over, like, holding it in the air, like, oh, Mom, like, look what I found. And, oh, it gets worse. And, because nobody can see this. Both of them are, like, tearing up right now.
So cute.
So, my favorite part of this memory was the mom, like, listening to her daughter be like, oh, like, look at my toy or whatever. And I remember her mom didn't say anything. She was leaning against the wall, like, with her arms crossed. And so I looked at her and was like, okay, like, do you have any other questions or whatever? I remember she just looked at me, her eyes, like, she was crying, like, her, like, welling with tears. And I remember she just had this, like, the warmest smile looking at her daughter and how happy she was. I remember she just looked at me and she just went, honey, she's like, can I give you a hug? And so now I'm, like, about to cry, and I was like, of course you can! So, like, I'm hugging this woman. So that's definitely a memory that's really important to me, because I'm like, that's why I want to go into this field. It's for that kind of being able to like help the community and stuff. So even after that, in like experience I've had, ride-alongs I've done, like some of the crap that I've seen, that's good. Wow. Stuff that I saw, I always kind of just like remember that moment, and I'm like, this is the kind of stuff, like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's definitely towards the top of the list of like one of my favorite memories.
You're such a good person.
That was beautiful. I love those stories of like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Well, I feel like an asshole.
Yeah, mine sucks.
We should not have had Kendra go first.
Yeah, why?
Shit. Oh, man. Well, I was gonna... You suck.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, pretty much any memory with, like, my whole family, all my cousins, any kind of, like, holiday get-together have always been, you know, incredible memories, but there have been so many that I was like, I can't just pick one. I'd have to talk about all of them. So instead, I'm not going to talk about my family at all.
Okay.
I feel such a jerk now. I feel so selfish talking about this now, but no, like my favorite memory was my first week, or my first trip to Young Life Camp, my sophomore year of high school. I went to Rockbridge, Virginia to Young Life Camp, and that whole week was just greatest week of my life. Honestly, it was the work that these people put into making this camp so special for, you know, high school kids, absolutely incredible. And everything about it was just pristine. It's just, the entire grounds were pristinely kept. The food was amazing. Greatest water, and it sounds weird, but the greatest water I've ever had in my life. Because the first night that we were there, there was like this huge obstacle course. We had to like run around, like we were in the middle of the mountains, and we're running through the mountains. We're doing this whole obstacle course, and at the end of it, they had tables set up with water, and I drank that water, and I'm like, this is straight from the streams of heaven, because my God, was it good. But that whole week was just so unbelievably incredible. All the activities, all the things that they had set up for people to do. And it was just the happiest, most impactful week of my life. And again, Young Life Camp is like a Christian camp, and just the messages and the inspirations and everything, just, I don't know, like, if you're Christian or not, whatever, but you just felt God's presence there in everything that you did. And it was so incredible. And I'm so thankful for that. And I have a notebook where every day I wrote down the things that we did so I could remember it. And it was funny because throughout the week, my handwriting was, you know, my mom calls it my serial killer handwriting, but it got so much worse considering that was where I broke my arm.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
The second to last day of that camp is when I jumped down on the blob. I had my arms down to my sides instead of out in front of me. I broke my arm. It snapped. I heard it snap. I didn't feel it, so that was the only reason I knew it broke.
Yikes.
But even with a broken arm, it was still the greatest week of my life. And I'm really thankful for everything that all the camp counselors and everyone, all the work that they did to it, because it was just, every night it was just something so special. And I just get all smiley and dopey when I think about it, because it was just, like I said, broken arm included, greatest week of my life. So, yeah. Now I feel like an ass, because I'm like,
No, that was a great story.
That's something that's impactful to you. That's a big deal.
I've never broken a bone.
Me neither.
If you do it bad enough where you need to have surgery. I'm just saying.
Can we elaborate on that, please?
Like, why? What? Is it like, it's not cool enough if you like break your
No,
or something?
it's because I was in and out of a cast in less than a week, and I had my surgery, and I was back to using my arm, and they were just like, start using it, start working on mobility and everything, instead of being the rest of the summer in a cast.
You're not like healing it yourself.
They did it for you. They put it back together for me. I broke it in 3 places. It was a lot.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, I had my surgery, and I got the wrap taken off of it, and I went to
But you know how I feel about surgery since last
That's
week.
true. That is true.
Terrified.
I don't blame you there. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, or just don't break any bones. We'll stick with that then.
I'm working on it.
Wait, on not breaking a bone?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm doing really good right now.
Wait a minute.
20 years and going. All right, sounds good. 21?
21.
Okay. So, what you got, Mary Grace?
Okay, I have to preface with, so back in October, November of 2019, unrelated, my grandpa died. It's totally unrelated. Anyway, after these services, I went over to my aunt's house with all my cousins and everything, and we were just like hanging out, like playing games, like, I don't know, just hanging out. And I was having such a good time with them, and I always have such a good time with them. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this every day. Like, I love like playing games and spending time with my cousins and my aunt. So then fast forward to like 6 months later, my mom ended up divorcing my dad, and we moved in with my aunt, and then COVID happened like a week later, so all my cousins were stuck there. So every night after dinner, we were playing games and hanging out, and like, I was like, I this is exactly what I said I wanted to do.
Right.
So for like 3 months, we lived there, and I just had a great time with them. Like, I'm Italian, but I don't like, I'm not super connected to like the culture or like food or anything, but my cousins and my aunt really are. So I got to learn how to like make pasta, and like we cooked dinner every single night, and it was just such like a good like bonding, and like it was just such a happy time for me, because also I had been like waiting for us to leave my dad for like years. So I was like, finally. Hey, like, I was so ready. Like, my mom and my sister were kind of having a hard time because, you know, COVID, and they, like,
Right.
weren't expecting to leave, but
you were just like,
I
party!
had
let's
been
go.
waiting for a long time. My mom was like, you know, pack your bag for like a week. We'll see, like, you know, maybe things will work out. I packed all of my stuff, and I was not.
It's like
You
you
manifested
yeah.
it. You
I was
manifested
so
it.
ready. So it was just a big, like, sigh of relief, and it was
Yeah.
so great to have my family with me, and yeah, so it was amazing.
Yeah, that's
So
beautiful.
yes, even though it was like a really hectic situation, like I had a great time.
Well, that's good. Make the most of a shitty situation
Yeah.
as far as COVID and divorce. But you were like, hell
I
yeah.
was like, this is way better.
Getting
Oh,
out of
that's
a bad
awesome to hear.
situation. That's good.
And I also picked up. Well, I don't do it anymore, but we're doing like yoga every single day,
Ooh.
which was really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, it was awesome.
So when you were packing up all your stuff,
Oh, transition? Transition?
you,
Oh,
you,
snap.
you called it.
I saw you smirking over there. You looked all cheeky. I knew.
Yep, transition. So as you were packing, if your house had caught on fire rather than it being divorced,
While I was packing.
what's the one object that you would run into a burning building to save? Not pets or family or anything, but
Can
like
we say not my phone? Can we just assume I have that on my person?
well, that's
when
like
the
in your
fire's
pocket as you run
Yeah,
out. So that's
that makes
fine.
burning? Okay, because that would probably be the first thing.
Okay.
Second thing, there's like no question, like I didn't even think about it. I have this little, well, I guess I don't need the box, but I have in a box, some like poems and letters that my friends wrote me in high school, and
Aw.
they're just really, have always been very treasured to
Yeah.
me. So those have gone with me everywhere. Like, I kept them in my wallet for a long time, but I stopped doing that because in case it got wet or anything. But when I went to my aunt's, that came with me. Yeah, I always know where it is. Just, I have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 like little pieces of paper that
Yeah.
some friends wrote some nice things for me. So
That's
it would be that.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys are proving over and over again what a piece of shit I am.
What would you say?
You both have like things like related to other people and like and me, I'm just like, it's all about me, quite literally.
That's not, I don't think that's true though.
I'm
like,
such a self-centered,
No, you're
You're really not
self-absorbed.
though.
Anyway, no, my one object is my pillow.
Yes, I knew it. I was gonna call that. I knew that's where this was going.
Listen, you know what? It is the most. I'll show it to you afterward. It is the most disgusting piece of garbage you'll ever see in your life. This isn't. It's not a special pillow. It's just like a pillow, like a you
Yeah.
get from the store, like a 2-pack pillow thing. It's just a pillow, right?
She's so confused.
Are we gonna insert a picture of this on the Instagram post?
I
Or
think
is
it would be
that-
too disturbing for people.
What is up with this pillow?
Oh
So this is the pillow that my mom brought me home from the hospital and put me on. So this pillow is 27, going on 28 years old. I have not slept a single night without it. It is disgusting. When I was little, I'd carry this pillow around and I had it like draped, tucked over my arm. And so eventually the stuffing on the inside
Is
separated.
it even a
Yeah.
pillow
It's not even a pillow anymore. It separated, so there was just 2 matted clumps
god.
of stuffing.
Oh my God.
And the center was empty, and it was just
God.
two on. And then eventually it got
It's a
so matted. It was like 2 little bricks in just like a fabric casing.
Yeah.
I had to cut the thing open, pull the stuffing out, and like rip it apart to get it unmatted
up.
and fluff it up. It didn't work, so now it's just clumps of matted stuffing that are just kind of scattered across. And then I tried to sew it, but when I was young, I didn't know how to sew, and so it's just like this botched like. And then it ripped open again, and instead of sewing it, because I'm lazy, I safety pinned it, and so I sleep on a safety pinned pillow every night.
You sleep
Oh,
on
God.
a safety hazard.
Literally stab yourself in the eye.
I do, and like the fabric like casing on the pillow, it is so thin you can quite literally see through it, just the matted stuffing clumps on the inside.
That is so
Okay.
impressive.
And it is so gnarly and disgusting that I had to have like a pillowcase. I have a permanent pillowcase over top of it just to keep it together, and then another pillowcase over top of that acts as a normal pillowcase. And it's not okay.
Can I say something kind of weird though?
Yeah.
like, when I was a kid, other kids would have, like, that object.
It's like a blankie, like a safety.
I wanted one, like, at a safety object, but I couldn't connect to anything, like, enough to, like, I wasn't committed to anything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I don't have, like, anything that I was, like,
it's probably better.
dependent on.
Yeah, it's
Because
probably
the thought of losing this pillow, it sends me into absolute turmoil.
Yeah.
It's that problematic.
Yeah.
I've, like I said, going on 28 years, not a single night have I slept without this thing. And when I was a kid, my mom tells me the story of when my brother was mad at me for something, he stole it and hid it.
Oh.
And I was livid. I was panicking. I was like, "Where's my pillow?" And my mom gave me, like, the other pillow that had come in the set. It's just a normal pillow. And she put on the same pillowcase that was on my pillow, and she handed it to me. I'm like, "This is not my pillow."
Not the same.
I was like, "No, this is not it." And she finally found it and everything, made my brother cough up where he put it. There was another time I went to my aunt's house to spend the night with all my cousins, and I forgot it, and I threw such a fit that my mom had to drive back to bring me my pillow. Like, it is problematic. And when I fly, it is the one thing in my carry-on. I'm not putting it in checked baggage, and God forbid I lose it in whatever the airline does.
Oh, that's right.
It comes with me on my carry-on. Nope, it's my pillow. And I'm gonna be buried with this thing. Like, it's so
Alright.
gross.
Interesting.
So, your turn, Kendra. Let's move on from my freakazoid life.
I say no, mine's similar, maybe not to that extent, but mine is similar. Because, like, I'm not a materialistic person. I don't have really attachment to anything. So that's why, like, this thing would be such a big deal to me. Because it's the only material thing I have in my apartment where I'm like, if something happened to that, I would be, like, devastated. Like, I can't even do it. But, it's, like, the same thing. It's something I've had since I was a baby, and it's a teddy bear. But it's not, like, a cute little small teddy bear. This thing's, like, this big. Like, it's, like, 2 or 3 feet tall. And, some friend of my mom's bought it for me, like, as a newborn, brought it to the hospital, whatever. A little funny side note to the story is my dad also bought, like, a teddy bear for me. He bought one for, like, I have 2 older sisters, each one for each one of his daughters. My sister, it's, like, one of those cute little baby tiny teddy bears. Still has it to this day. It's disgusting. Like, it used to be white. Theirs is nasty. It's, like, a disgusting gray color. Like, that thing's seen a lot. My dad bought me one. He bought me, like, a really nice, like, white and green, like, this Irish bear. I've never seen that bear in my life. I don't know what happened to it. Apparently, as a toddler, I lost it. I don't know what I did with it. It's MIA. It makes my dad very sad. But instead, it was kind of replaced by this other bear that a friend of my mom's bought for me. And that thing went through me, like, my entire life. Like, I slept with my entire childhood. I did the same thing. I'd, like, hook an elbow, like, right around its neck, essentially. So now, when it sits there, it just kind of has its head tilted to the side because there's nothing there anymore. But, and it has, like, a velvet, like, huge red bow that, like, hangs off of it. But, yeah, that's, like, the same thing. Like, it slept with me every single night. Like, especially, like, I struggled with mental health, like, at a really young age and, like, in my early teenage years and stuff. So, like, that was the thing. Like, I would come home and shut my door, and I'd, like, cry with it. Like, bury my face in it and just cry. So, like, that was, like, my little friend. Like, my whole childhood and stuff. Didn't go on sleepovers with me. Like, I could travel without it. I'd be aight. But as soon as I got home, I'd be, like, hug it and, like, it's mine. But, yeah, that's probably the only materialistic thing that I have that I can't live without. And, like, my mom, like, she found a way to wash it. I don't know how. Because, like I said, I took that thing... It's seen some things. So my mom figured out somehow how to wash it so she could give it back and be not diseased. So I remember I got older. Look, my was in like freaking high school, and I was like, I came out, I was like, can you like do the thing? Like, can you wash it? And my mom literally, she just kind of chuckled. She was like, I think if I do it at this point, it's just gonna fall apart. And I literally was like, no, like I'm not gonna take that chance. And my mom was like, there's something wrong with you. Like, it's a bear. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was like, nothing can happen to this thing. So, didn't wash it. So, it's probably really gross again. But, yeah. That's one thing. That would probably be it. Because, like I said, I have no attachment, really, to anything else. That's, like, the only thing that I have, like, an emotional attachment to.
Me too.
So,
yeah,
it would be that.
I don't have an emotional attachment to, like, anything that I have. I know you said last week something about my plants, but, like...
They're plants. You can always get more plants.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the hard thing. Like, my entire apartment, everything that I have is, has meaning, has sentimentality to me. But then I also have to, again, I have to step back and realize it is just stuff. Right. It as much as it means to me, as much, like, the stories behind it and stuff, pretty much almost everything can be replaced. But like I said, my pillow is the one thing that
Yeah.
cannot be replaced.
Nope.
So.
Do you want to hear something kind of sad that kind of makes me sad? But it's okay.
But it's okay.
Well, like, do you remember how on Chaotic Energy we mentioned how I had written that essay about mashed potatoes and, like, I got 3rd place in the state of Indiana?
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it was like, I was in 4th grade, and they had us all write an essay about, like, our favorite food, why it's our favorite food, the story behind it. So mine was the mashed potatoes my mom makes. And I remember my teacher hated it, but I ended up winning 3rd place in the whole state of Indiana. And, anyway, we talked about it on the podcast, and so I went home and I was like, Mom, do we have the essay? And she's like, yeah, I saved it, but I think your dad has it, because, like, when we left, we, like, left. So he had all of our sentimental stuff, and he does not have the sentimental stuff anymore. So pictures, videos, everything.
That's so sad.
What a douchebag!
Yeah,
So-
for real.
So I don't, like, have a lot of stuff.
Oh no.
It's okay, though.
It's not
No,
okay.
that
What
sucks.
am I gonna do about it? It's alright.
I mean, that's
That's-
true, but still, that sucks.
But yeah,
That's a dick move.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's alright.
We're gonna move on because that was sad.
Sorry.
This whole podcast is
Yeah.
kind of...
It's real. It's deep. It's real. That's all.
Yeah, this is raw. We're not.
Yeah.
This is real stuff, you guys.
So teach us a thing, Kendra.
Oh yeah, please.
Kendra's got the fun fact. We're making all of our guests do the work for us. So teach us something new. What do you got?
So I brought my book just in case, but other than... One thing I really like to study is nonverbal communication. Love it. Could talk about it all day. But most people, when I say nonverbal communication, they think I'm talking about body language, which is one part of it, but that's like one little subtext under like this huge umbrella. Nonverbal communication involves several different things. But, I mean, body language is like my favorite part. So that's the part I talk about the most. And specifically with like emotions and facial expressions. I love it. Like, I just think it's really interesting. I think it's interesting how there's seven different emotions that across the board, no matter what culture you're in, the way people express it is going to be the exact same. So yeah, that's really cool. So I think it is definitely, it's disgust, fear, happiness, sadness. Can't think of the other ones. But like those like big emotions, those are the ones, no matter what culture you're in, no matter what country you're in, if you like just turn off the sound, those expressions are the exact same on people's faces. So, but I brought one specific fact. So this one's about like gestures. So while you're talking, like throwing your hands around and everything else, those gestures have specific names. So like pointing has a specific name and like stuff like that. So for example, one of them is called a baton. And that is a movement that emphasizes a word or a phrase and sometimes temporarily, so it's like an orchestra conductor. Like when they're like doing the music and they want emphasis on something or kind of stuff like that. So that's really cool. And then pointing, which is the one I didn't realize. I mean, it's pointing. I didn't know that had a name. But that's called a dyadic movement. So like pointing things so you know where they are. And then ideographs are movements that draw a thought, a sketch, or a path. I do that all the time. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it. But so yeah. So those like little movements each have their own names, which I thought was really cool.
That's so
Oh my
cool.
God.
I didn't know that at all.
I love that. Everything has a name. Everything has a purpose.
Yeah. So that's why I love, in one of the communications classes I took while we were at school, my professor said to us on the first day, he's like, I'm not going to teach you anything new. He's like, you know all of this. He's like, you just don't know that there's a name for it. He's like, so what this class is diving into it, into what you're doing, a little bit why you're doing it, and he's like, and I'm just naming it. He's like, but in this class, you're not going to actually learn anything new. You already know it. You just don't realize that you know
You're just
it.
putting names to the
Yeah.
things you already know.
So in that class, I absolutely loved. It was so interesting. That's what got me into nonverbal communication stuff. So
Well, you were the one who told me that the show Lie to Me, right?
yes.
Lie to Me is actually, they did all the research. It's legitimate. It's
Yeah.
not just, like Grey's Anatomy is just throwing out weird random
Yeah.
things. Like, no, this was actual research based.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to do it unless it was actually factual,
Right.
legitimate.
So like it's almost like the godfather of like facial expressions and nonverbal communication. His name is Paul Ekman, and Paul Ekman helped them write the TV show Lie to Me. And Paul Ekman, he's an arrogant, jerk off. Like, if you watch interviews and stuff with him, he's just, like, nose in the air. He knows more information than you do. He's just kind of like one of those people. But he would not let them go through with an episode unless the science was right. So, in the things that the character is, Lightman, I think his name is. So, they kind of loosely based his character off of Paul Ekman. So, and he would not let them go through unless the things that Lightman is saying were actual, like, backed up by science, like, actual fact. Because, like, a lot of people, like, with lying, for example, that's basically what they do, is, like, they're investigating things, and they're being human lie detectors, essentially. But, like, the whole thing with somebody's lying, they're, like, looking up to the left, or, like, looking down to the right, stuff like that. That's, like, one of those things where it's kind of BS, because there's, like, a little bit of a hint to that, but not really. So, that's why they were like, we're not going to do that, we're going to actually do this right, so...
I need to watch that show. I'd seen it when it was on TV, and I still watched TV.
Yeah.
I'd seen snippets of it here and there if my parents were flipping through channels, and it was always very interesting. Did it finish, or did it get canceled? Did it end on a
I haven't finished it yet. I think I just started the second season, but I believe there's only 3, so I doubt that it probably got canceled.
If it, like, get canceled and, like, ends
cliffhanger.
I'm like, I
the
usually
worst.
don't go through shows if they end on cliffhangers, because I'm like, that's just pointless.
Right.
But
I think it's really interesting, because like I said, this book I have here on Nonverbal Communication, I have a bunch of them in my apartment too. But just starting to dive into them and then watching them with that show, it's really cool to kind of, like, have that visual, because these sometimes get, like, really content heavy, like a lot of definitions, a lot of words, but having that show is kind of like a
put it in real life.
Yeah. And so you can actively see, like, what you're learning. So that's why I also think it's really cool with, like, learning about it alongside it, because then you're like, okay, like, you know that's not BS. Like, they actually did their research, and they actually did it right, which I also huge applause for, which is cool.
That's awesome.
What is the premise of the show? I've never heard of it.
Isn't it like kind of like Criminal Minds or CSI? It's like
sort of
criminal behavior that they're diving into to try and
So he owns, like, his own company. It's called, like, the Lightman Group, and basically what they do is they're like a think tank, kind of, I guess, for lack of a better word, and they just people hire them to say, whether it be, like, just a regular person, whether it be a department, the FBI, whoever, people hire this group and say, hey, we have this case, we don't know if they're lying, or hey, can you interview this person, whatever. And so what the Lightman Group does, especially him, is they go in, they interview people, they always take a video, because micro expressions, those are smaller facial expressions, they happen, I think it's less than 0.25 of a second, so it's quicker than blink of an eye. So live, you can't really see what it was. Like, you can see something, be like, their face moved, but I don't know what it did, because it happened so quickly. So what they do is, like, they videotape everything, whatever, and they go back to it later, and basically he sits there and he watches it, and he, like, slows it way down, so that way he could see, like, what they actually did, and he could tell, like, if they're lying or not. So basically he, like, assists other people with cases and stuff.
Wow.
It's so fascinating.
That is
It's
so
really cool. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have a viewing party.
Yeah, and even just in itself, like, the science part aside, it just is a well-written show. Like, it's a good show to watch.
Yep. We're gonna have to add that to the list along with, I got her into Avatar.
Along with Barbie.
Along with Barbie.
I want to see a new Barbie movie.
The Lord of the Rings. She hasn't seen Harry Potter. She hasn't seen Star Wars. She's living under a rock.
We're gonna...
I haven't seen any of that either.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Why do I associate with you heathens? Oh my god. Guess I'm just old. Okay.
I didn't call you old.
I'm of a whole separate generation.
You're
I'm a
older
freaking
than
boomer. Oh my god.
You're not a boomer.
Oh,
I
God.
feel like it. All right.
That's amazing.
Well, that was some good stuff. Good stuff.
That was good stuff.
All right. We're going to get out of here before we end up talking all freaking day. We're at an hour and a half.
Wow.
So congrats on the longest episode there, Kendra.
I feel like I contributed a lot to that.
That was awesome. That was good. All right. So until next week, we'll talk at you next time. And Kendra will be back for other things.
Woo.
I'm going to make her come back. Okay. So talk at you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.